Hey Noah, thanks a million for sending me this sequence of shots. They're really, really cool. Before we get into looking at like reviewing it, let's just have a play through it a couple of times.
Everybody just calm down.
Go again.
Everybody just calm down.
Really, really nice. So I'm kind of forced to go straight to nitpicking mode because it's really, really strong. It's just everything works really well. I really like the I'll turn the volume down a little bit while I'm scrubbing. It leads the eye very well into the camera moves. I really like the feel the movement and then just continue it over the shot. Feels very cinematic, the wide letter blocks format reminds us of the classic westerns. The staging and everything just kind of works well with that. So I kind of, as I say, I'm kind of forced to just go straight to tiny things. I'm wondering, like, we see the eye change direction a little bit there before he closes his eyes, and then we see it kind of leading in there. I just wonder, could that be maybe, could that eye change maybe happen just a few frames earlier than the move starts? It's a subtle thing, and it's just it's a matter of opinion really how it works. But I just wonder, might it kind of show the thought process a little bit more if we're just to move this whole change of expression with the eyes and the look just a few frames earlier, so we kind of see him looking there and the expression change just a tiny bit before he actually starts moving. Just so we can kind of see the thought process, the decision. Yeah, I'm gonna head this way. Like we do see the eyes changing direction as he closes them, but it's a little bit lost. I just get the idea of the eyes leading that movement just a tiny bit more. Actually, I'll trim off that first bit for now. I'll just trim that a little bit. Yeah, I think this is really nicely set up. The timing, everything works really well. One thing that catches my eye just a little bit with this guy on the this side of the screen, that he just I'm seeing the movement in his head, maybe a little bit too much in the head. It just feels like it's pivoting a little bit from like a pivot point here. I expect to see a little bit of lean in the chest or the neck as well, just to support that move. Feels a little isolated, and again, this can be a stylistic thing, but I don't feel it as much in this guy over here. I kind of feel there's a lean and a general change of posture as he turns his head. Whereas with the other guy, it just feels a little bit mechanical, because I imagine if I look at a line under his chin, his head is just kind of on that. It can maybe arc or dip down, or just be led by the neck a little bit more. Have the neck kind of counter it even. I'm exaggerating this for clarity, but the neck might go that way as the head goes that way. Just to give it a little bit, it just feels like his chin and his eyes are all kind of in one plane as they move, and it's just kind of a little bit mechanical looking. I don't feel it from the other two guys. I really like the antic here. Again, maybe you could sell it with the eyes a little bit, like a little bit of a thought process with maybe the eyes could just look down or look across just before he does it. Again, just to show the thought process. But I really like the antic. I really like how push that is. You see those guns. And him. Again, I think maybe he could be looking over this way a little bit as well, or just a little bit of an expression change. And And I wonder just with this pose, I really like the action of it. I wonder could it go even just a little bit broader? I'll move on to this shot. Again, a lot of these notes I'm just kind of like, maybe, what about? They're not like it's wrong. It looks really good. Wondering maybe this pose, like we see it's kind of here. If we're kind of imagining the path of this gun as such a big heavy thing, I can imagine it would go up maybe just a little bit more. Like it does, but maybe we'd see one more frame of it up here, just with the arm kind of leading through a little bit more. And maybe this one might be a tiny bit higher, just the wrist, just the arc, just to really push that. It feels like it bottoms out a little bit here at the elbow, kind of stops, and kind of comes out and down. I know it's like a robot arm, so it should feel a little bit that way. Mechanical arm of some nature. And again, like an expression change here might make sense ordinarily, but maybe you're going for like he's just so cool for school that he's not really that bothered by somebody pointing a gun at his head. Blink or kind of real change of expression here. One small thing as well, just I don't know how the rigs for the guns support it. There's a lot of nice sound here with the mechanical gun sounds. I don't know if like some of these parts of the guns can be animated, or maybe just a little bit of judder on some of these things are like this thing, just to show them moving a little bit. This stuff. I'm not a gun guy, so I don't know what parts would naturally move, but just to kind of support the audio we're hearing might be a nice little small touch. It's a very polishy thing, but and then main thing, I think this was the thing that caught my eye most. I like the head push here with the gun and kind of getting stopped by the other gun. But it does feel kind of similar to the other guy in the middle shot. His head really just translates. Yeah, and again, that's a stylistic choice maybe, but I don't see any rotation in the head. I do it there once it contacts the gun, so maybe I feel like this is probably a deliberate choice. But I would expect his head to tilt just ever so much as he went over. And then again, maybe here. I feel as well, maybe with this head move, or with this dialogue, the calm down, there's a nice rhythm to it.
Calm down. Calm down.
It feels nice, but I wonder, would the spacing be just a tiny bit more pushed? So like he's still over here a bit more. So it's just trying to get more of like, it feels like a little bit calm down. Feels like the spacing is kind of calm down, and then it's kind of like, he's already easing out, and then it's pretty tight into this, that kind of thing. But I wonder, could you push it a bit more so it's like calm, and then just barely coming out, and then like down, just a little bit more push. Terrible drawing, but you get that idea, hopefully. Just a little bit more tight in this bit here. Calm, so you don't really see any movement. Calm, and down, just between those two words, just the movement is a little bit bigger. It just feels a little bit soft. So like he'd still be, while he's on the of calm, he wouldn't quite have started moving, or he wouldn't have moved as much. For to track his nose, it would have that tight spacing. And then the down would hit just a little bit harder. It might even go a bit further, just a little bit further that way, and maybe even a tiny tilt again. Exaggerated drawing for clarity. But I just might sell the dialogue a little bit more. Calm down. Just make it a little bit bigger. And I feel like his return then to this kind of center position feels a little floaty as well. Like this bit here just feels just a little separate from the. It just feels a little bit separate from the body. But maybe have him stay maybe more like this, or have him hold it a bit more, make it slightly more snappy move. Not snappy, but just a little bit more intentional spacing. It just feels a little bit drifty in this little section here. I think that's all I have really. One other thing, it's a minor thing, but one thing that kind of catches my eye a little bit, and I know you're probably cheating this pose to camera, and I just feel like I would keep it cheated because it just feels like, because it's just such a cool kind of shiny material, when we see that big shape change of it going down like that, it kind of catches the eye a little bit, or at least it did for me, whereas I really want our focus to be here, obviously. So I wonder, could you maybe cheat the elbow so it doesn't come down, so that it just pushes out, so it's more, more like that, rather than bending, rather than the elbow coming down, which it naturally would do. It's just feeling a little bit weak at this kind of angle here, this break at the wrist. Whereas I think this, clean shape, it just reads better, and it's not catching my eye as much. I just think to keep something simple like that through there, just to keep our attention here. But I think that's all I have, really. Honestly, like it's just a great sequence of shots. The characters are so characterful, and the staging, the scenery, the lighting, everything you've done is really, really nice. So yeah, as I said, I went straight to nitpicking, but I hope that's useful. I'll try maybe do one more look through it before we finish.
Everybody just calm down.
Yeah, so awesome. So yeah, thanks a million for sending this. Really, really cool, really fun to look at. I hope those notes are helpful. Cheers.